Hello and welcome to Mastermind, and this evening we begin the semi-final stage of our quest to find the Mastermind of 1991. And for this first of our four semi-finals, it gives me particular pleasure to be back here in my old stamping grounds at the University of Edinburgh in its magnificent McEwan Hall. Now, the university itself dates back to 1583, but the McEwan Hall is a mere 94 years old, and is based on the form of ancient Greek theatre in the early Italian Renaissance style, and it's a setting for all major university functions. Now, our first four semi-finalists now await their chance to gain the first place in this year's final, and they are an actor from Lancaster, an administrative assistant from Barrow-in-Furness, a computer analyst from Wombourne in Staffordshire, and a university lecturer from Keyworth in Nottinghamshire. Now, in the semi-finals, the contestants must choose a specialized subject which is different from the subject they chose in the first round. And tonight, those subjects are Dartmoor and its environs, Shakespeare's history plays, the composer Johann Sebastian Bach, and the city of Paris. So, may I have the first semi-finalist, please? Your name, please?
Stephen Allen.
Occupation?
Actor.
In the first round, you took the life and reign of Henry VII. What is your chosen specialized subject this time?
Dartmoor and its environs.
Mr. Allen, you have 2 minutes on Dartmoor and its environs, starting now. On which tour did the Stanley Parliament of the Dartmoor Tinners meet?
Crockentor.
Correct. Which Oakhampton man created peat crossings for use by huntsmen and other moormen around the end of last century?
Frank Philpotts.
Correct. In which year was Dartmoor designated a national park?
1951.
Correct. What three words are spelt out by the 12 letters that take the place of the numerals on Buckland Church clock?
My dear mother.
Correct. In 1337, which Duke of Cornwall was granted the Forest of Dartmoor?
Edward the Black Prince.
Correct. 4 Dartmoor stanary towns were appointed by a charter of Edward I for the weighing and stamping of tin. Tavistock, Ashburton and Chagford were 3. Which was the last?
Plimpton.
Correct. Which is the only river rising on Dartmoor to flow directly to the Bristol Channel?
Tor.
Correct. Which bog, southeast of Princetown, is reputedly represented by Great Grimpen Mire in Conan Doyle's Hound of the Baskervilles?
Foxtor Mire.
Correct. Exmoor had the outlawed Doones. What was the legendary tribe of savages from around Brent Tor that terrified Dartmoor?
Gubbinses.
Correct. Mrs. Bray's 3-volumed A Description of the Part of Devonshire bordering on the Tamar and the Tavy in 1836 was based on a series of letters to whom?
Pass.
What is the name of the highest point and the highest ridge on Dartmoor?
The High Willis.
Is correct. Which of Dartmoor's 3 primeval oak groves is situated along the West Dart River north of 2 bridges?
Wistman's Wood.
Correct. Where was the first of the so-called Dartmoor letterboxes established?
Cranmerpool.
Correct. What is the title of the book that is a bound edition of William Crossing's articles about contemporary Dartmoor life that were first published in the Western Morning News in 1903?
Dartmoor Worker.
Correct. What is the geological term for the zone of rocks baked by contact with the Dartmoor granite several million years ago?
Metamorphic Oriel.
Correct. Widdicombe Fair is held on which day in September?
Second Tuesday.
Correct. What is the unusual geometric feature of the prehistoric stone circle at Yellowmead near Sheepstore?
It's got 4 rings around it.
Correct. What is a novel subtitled A Dartmoor Tale written by R.D. Blackmore of Lorna Doone fame?
Christowell.
Correct. Who became president of the Dartmoor Preservation Association in 1976?
Lady Sale.
No, Lord Foote. At which Stanley prison, built in 1195, I've started so I'll finish. At which Stanley prison, built in 1195, was Richard Strode MP incarcerated for defying the Tinners, describing it as one of the most detestable places within this realm?
Lidford.
Lidford Castle is correct. At the end of that round, Mr. Allen, you have scored 18 points. You pass on just the one. Mrs. Bray's 3-volumed A Description of the Part of Devonshire bordering on the Tamar and the Tavy in 1836 was based on a series of letters to the poet Robert Southey. Stephen Allen, thank you very much. Our second contender, please. Your name, please?
Stephanie Brooke.
Occupation?
Administrative assistant.
Now, in the first round, you took the life and works of Puccini. What is your chosen specialized subject this time?
Shakespeare's history plays.
Ms. Brooke, you have 2 minutes on Shakespeare's history plays, starting now. Before which French town does Henry V make his once more unto the breach speech?
Harfleur.
Correct. At the end of Henry IV, Part 2, to which prison were Falstaff and his cronies dispatched?
Pass.
Which of the history plays ends with the lines, "Naught shall make us rue if England to itself do rest but true"?
King John.
Correct. In Richard III, at which royal residence in London does Gloucester allow himself to be persuaded to take on the kingship?
Crosby Place.
No, Baynard's Castle. So call the field to rest and let's away to part the glories of this happy day. Who speaks these, the closing lines of Julius Caesar?
Mark Antony.
No, Octavius. In Henry VI, Part 1, what final argument does Joan La Pucelle use in an attempt to avoid being burned at the stake?
That she is pregnant.
Correct. Which project proposed at the end of Richard II does the king have to abandon at the beginning of Henry IV, Part 1?
Crusade.
Correct. Whose English translation of Plutarch's Lives did Shakespeare draw upon for his Roman plays?
Pass.
The play, now usually called Henry VIII, probably by Shakespeare and Fletcher, was better known to its first audiences by what title?
All is true.
Correct. In Henry IV, Part 2, after the rebels surrender, who rebukes Falstaff for always turning up late?
Prince John of Lancaster.
Correct. In Antony and Cleopatra, what news makes Cleopatra threaten the messenger, "Thou shalt be whipped with wire and stewed in brine"?
Antony's married Octavia.
Correct. In Henry VI, Part 3, what action of Edward IV caused Warwick to change sides?
That he's married Lady Grey.
Correct. Two of the three traitors exposed in the second act of Henry V are the Earl of Cambridge and Sir Thomas Grey. Who's the third?
Henry Lord's group of Masham.
Correct. In Henry VI, Part 2, what prophecy is confirmed by Suffolk's death?
That he would die by water.
Correct. In Henry VI, Part 1, what is the first name of Lord Talbot's son who comes to fight at his father's side and dies with him at Bordeaux?
John.
Correct. Who said, "Cowards die many times before their deaths, the valiant never taste of death but once"?
Hotspur.
No, Julius Caesar. After the robbery at Gad's Hill in Henry IV, Part 1, who joins Prince Hal in disguise to dispossess Falstaff and his companions of their loot?
Poins.
Poins is right. At the end of that round, Stephanie Brooke, you have scored 12 points. You passed on 2 at the end of Henry IV, Part 2. The prison to which Falstaff and his cronies were dispatched was the Fleet Prison, and the gentleman who did the English translation of Plutarch's Lives that Shakespeare drew upon for his Roman plays was Sir Thomas North. Stephanie Brooke, thank you very much. And our third semi-finalist, please. Your name, please.
Ian Sadler,
Occupation.
computer analyst.
In the first round, you took British battleships, 1860 to 1956. What is your chosen specialised subject this time?
The life and works of Johann Sebastian Bach.
Ian Sadler, you have 2 minutes on the life and works of Johann Sebastian Bach, starting now. What was the post to which Bach was appointed at Leipzig in May 1723?
Cantor of St. Thomas's School.
Correct. What was the name given to the orchestral society founded by Telemann that Bach directed from 1729?
Collegium Musicum.
Correct. In the St. Matthew Passion, who are represented in the symbolic repetitions of the arias Lord, Is It I?
The Apostles.
Correct. In Bach's Capriccio on the departure of his beloved brother, what is imitated to indicate the departure by stagecoach?
The Post Horn.
Correct. In which church on Good Friday 1724 was the St. John Passion performed for the first time?
St. Anthony's.
No, St. Nicholas's Church in Leipzig. Which French composer was challenged by Bach to an organ contest in Dresden but fled the city at dawn?
Marchand.
Correct. By what name is the work Mehr Hahn and Neue Oberkeit better known?
Sheep may safely graze.
No, the Peasant Cantata. Why did Duke Wilhelm Ernst, who employed Bach as his concertmeister, have the composer imprisoned for a month in 1717?
He'd asked for permission to leave.
Correct. In the St. Matthew Passion, which instrument has an important obbligato part in the item Komm, Süßes Kreuz?
Pass.
In 1733, to whom did Bach present his Kyrie and Gloria together with a petition asking for his most mighty protection?
Frederick Augustus.
Correct. What was the title of the pedagogical keyboard works Bach began in January 1720 to teach his 9-year-old son?
Klavierbuchlein.
Correct. Which professor of music history at Berlin was the author of a classic biography of Bach published in the 1870s?
Spitter.
Correct. What was the real name of Picander, who wrote the libretto for Bach's Peasant Cantata?
Henrici.
Correct. What is the name of the church at Mulhausen of which Bach was organist?
St. Blasius.
Correct. In which town did the 17-year-old Bach successfully compete for the post of church organist, only to be rejected by the local ruler?
Pass.
Who painted the 1746 portrait of Bach, which now hangs in the Leipzig Historical Museum?
Pass.
In 1737, which scholar and composer criticized Bach's music in his periodical Der Kritische Musikus? And you may answer. And at the end of that round, Mr. Sadler, you have scored 11 points. You pass on 4. In the St. Matthew Passion, the instrument which has an important obligato part in the item Komm süßes Kreuz is the viola da gamba. The town in which the 17-year-old Bach successfully competed for the post of church organist, only to be rejected by the local ruler, was Sangerhausen. The painter of the 1746 portrait of Bach, which now hangs in the Leipzig Historical Museum, was Elias Hausmann. And in 1737, the scholar and composer who criticized Bach's music in his periodical Der kritische Musikus was Adolf Scheibe. Ian Sadler, thank you very much. And our 4th semi-finalist, please. Your name, please.
Richard Francis,
Occupation.
university lecturer.
In the first round, you took the life and career of Mahatma Gandhi. What is your chosen specialized subject this time?
The city of Paris.
Dr. Francis, you have 2 minutes on the city of Paris starting. Now, what's the name of the magnificent building that Louis XIV created in the 1670s to house old soldiers?
The Invalides.
Correct. What is a church and sanctuary founded by Bishop Maurice de Sully in the 12th century?
Notre Dame.
Correct. Who was a prefect who was entrusted by Napoleon III with the replanning of Paris but was dismissed in 1870?
Haussmann.
Correct. Which church was commissioned by Anne of Austria, Louis XIII's queen, to give thanks to God for the birth of a son?
Val de Grace.
Correct. What is the name of the amphitheatre built about 200 AD by the Romans, which is only slightly smaller than the Colosseum in Rome?
Arène de Lutèce.
Correct. Who was the first Frankish king to establish his residence in Paris in the year 508 and make it his official capital?
Clovis.
Correct. Which building was commissioned by Napoleon in 1806 as a hall of fame for his Grande Armée?
The Panthéon.
No, La Madeleine. Traditionally, what do Parisians watch when they want to gauge the level of the River Seine?
The Zouave.
Correct. With which 19th century historical incident is the Mur des Fédérés associated?
Pass.
Who was the French sovereign who made the Louvre his residence and installed there his collection of books and manuscripts?
Louis XIV.
No, Charles V. Completed in the reign of Henry IV, which is the oldest of the Seine bridges in Paris?
Pont Neuf.
Correct. On which underground river does the celebrated Gobelin tapestry factory stand?
Bièvre.
Correct. Which left bank bookshop run by Sylvia Beach was a centre of cultural activity in the 1920s and 30s?
Pass.
What was the original name for the Place de la Concorde when it was first laid out in the 18th century?
Place Louis XV.
Correct. Which Italian building served as the inspiration for the Palais du Luxembourg to remind Marie de Medici of her childhood?
Pitti Palace.
Correct. Who is the patron saint of Paris, often represented in art holding a candle?
Saint Geneviève.
Correct. How did Gambetta get out of Paris in 1870 when the city was cut off by German armies?
By balloon.
Correct. In which street in May 1610 was Henry IV assassinated by François Ravaillac?
Rue La Ferronnière.
Correct. How did the area in Paris known as Le Marais get its name?
Because it was a marsh.
Correct. What is the significance of the date in the street that is called the Rue de 4 Septembre? You may
Founding
answer.
of the Fourth Republic. Third Republic.
I'll accept that. The Third Republic was proclaimed on that date. At the end of that round, Dr. Francis, you have scored 16 points. You passed on to the 19th century historical incident with which the Mur des Fédérés is associated is the suppression of the Commune in 1871, and the Left Bank bookshop run by Sylvia Beach, which was a centre of cultural activities in the 1920s and 30s, was called Shakespeare and Company. Dr. Francis, thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of the first round, the specialized subjects round. Let us glance at the scores. And in 4th place on 11 points is Ian Sadler. In 3rd place on 12 points is Stephanie Brooke. In 2nd place on 16 points is Richard Francis, but in the lead by 2 points at this halfway stage with 18 points is Stephen Allen. So, on now to the second round, the general knowledge round, with everything still to play for. Remember, according to the rules of Mastermind, if there is a tie at the end of the second round, then the number of passes in both rounds will be taken into consideration, and the contender with the fewer or fewest passes will be adjudged the winner. And now on with the second round. First of all, please may I have Ian Sadler. He is a computer analyst, originally from Brown Hills in Staffordshire, now living in Wombourne in Staffordshire. Scored 11 points on the life and works of Johann Sebastian Bach, to be lying in 4th place at the halfway stage. Your general knowledge questions are starting now. Who wrote the novels War and Peace and Anna Karenina?
Leon Tolstoy.
Correct. What is a German term for an armoured or tank division of the German army?
Panzer.
Correct. Which French diplomat was responsible for building the Suez Canal?
De Lesseps.
Correct. In Jewish tradition, what term derived from the Hebrew meaning anointed described the expected deliverer of mankind who would establish God's kingdom on earth?
Messiah.
Correct. President Bush's summer home is at Kennebunkport in which American state?
Maine.
Correct. The PAL colour television system is used in Britain. What do the letters PAL stand for?
Phase amplified.
No, phase alternation line. What name meaning resurrection was given to the 19th century movement for the unification of Italy?
Risorgimento.
Correct. Which town now in Staffordshire was the main royal residence of the kings of Mercia?
Tamworth.
Correct. Which prime minister was kept in power by the Lib-Lab Pact of 1977?
Wilson.
No, Callaghan. From the 14th century to the 17th, guilds of amateur German singers flourished in various German cities. What name was given to members of these guilds?
Meistersinger.
Correct. Which city is the capital of Fiji?
Tuvalu.
No, it's Suva. The Battle of the Nile, one of Nelson's victories, was fought in 1798 in which bay on the coast of Egypt?
Abukir.
Correct. In the New Testament, who became St. Paul's representative at Ephesus and is traditionally regarded as the first bishop of the city?
Pass.
In the 17th century, who wrote, I love any discourse of rivers and fish and fishing?
Isaac Walton.
Correct. What did the Military Service Acts of 1916 introduce to Britain?
Conscription.
Correct. Which Mughal emperor built the Taj Mahal at Agra?
Shah Jahan.
Correct. What nautical term describes the pressing of oakum into the seams of a ship's hull to make it watertight?
Corking.
Correct. According to Alexander Pope, where does hope spring eternal?
In the human breast.
Correct. Which dynasty included the kings of Prussia from 1701 and the emperors of Germany from 1871?
Hohenzollern.
Correct. Which publisher and philanthropist established a Sunday school in Gloucester in 1780 and is regarded as the founder of the Sunday school movement?
Pass.
And at the end of that round, Mr. Sadler, your score has gone up to 26 points. You passed on 2. In the New Testament, the man who became St. Paul's representative at Ephesus and is traditionally regarded as the first bishop of the city was Timothy, and the publisher and philanthropist who established a Sunday school in Gloucester in 1780 and is regarded as the founder of the Sunday school movement was Robert Raikes. Ian Sadler, thank you very much. And now, Stephanie Brooke, please. She's an administrative assistant from Barrow-in-Furness, is Barrow-in-Furness born and bred. Scored 12 points on Shakespeare's history plays, to be lying in 3rd place at the halfway point. The target that you have to aim at is 26. Your general knowledge questions starting now. In 1043, Leofric, Earl of Mercia, and his wife founded a monastery at Coventry. Who was his wife?
Godiva.
Correct. In which ancient civilization were the gods Thoth and Anubis worshipped?
Egyptian.
Correct. What name meaning bread and butter table is given to a Swedish buffet-style meal with a wide variety of hors d'oeuvre and other dishes?
Smorgasbord.
Correct. The western and eastern Ghats are mountain systems of which country?
Norway.
No, India. Which object did Keats personify as an unravished bride of quietness and a foster child of silence and slow time?
Grecian urn.
Correct. In July 1940, after the fall of France, who became chief of state when the French National Assembly met at Vichy?
Poincaré.
No, Pétain. The Brenner Pass links Austria and which other country?
Italy.
Correct. What was the name of the shield of Zeus, which is used in English to denote sponsorship or protection or auspices?
Aegis.
Aegis is right. In music, the term bouche fermée instructs a singer to do what?
Not sing.
No, it's to hum. In which castle in Gloucestershire was Edward II reputedly murdered in 1327?
Berkeley.
Correct. In proof corrections, what is denoted by 3 horizontal lines under a letter?
Put stress on the letter.
No, make it a capital. Philomel is a poetic name for which bird?
Pardon, can you repeat the question?
Stop the watch. Philomel is a poetic name for which bird? Start the watch.
Skylark.
No, nightingale. Who became foreign minister of the Federal Republic of Germany in 1974 and continued in the post after German reunification?
Hans Dietrich Genscher.
Is correct. What was the name of Jane Austen's sister?
Cassandra.
Correct. In Alban Berg's unfinished opera, who is the eponymous heroine who is murdered by Jack the Ripper?
Lulu.
Correct. To which order of animals does the barbastelle belong?
Monkeys.
No, bats. The village of Ramillies, where Marlborough defeated the French in 1706, is now in which country?
Belgium.
Correct. In which book of the Old Testament are the 10 plagues of Egypt most fully described?
Exodus.
Correct. Which duchess was Queen Anne's influential advisor until she was superseded by her cousin, Abigail Masson?
Marlborough.
Correct. Which celebrated Californian cemetery, I've started, so I'll finish. Which celebrated Californian cemetery is said to have inspired Evelyn Waugh's novel, The Loved One?
I can't remember.
And at the end of that round, Stephanie Brooke, you have scored 25 points. You passed on just the one question, the one on the bell at the end there. The celebrated Californian cemetery, which is said to have inspired Evelyn Waugh's novel, The Loved One, was Forest Lawn Memorial Park. Stephanie Brooke, thank you very much. And now, Dr. Richard Francis, please. He is a lecturer in French at Nottingham University. He's a Nottingham man, now lives in Keyworth in Nottinghamshire. Scored 16 points on the city of Paris to be lying in second place at the halfway point. The target you still have to aim at is 26. And your general knowledge questions are starting now. To which city does the word Cantabrigian refer?
Cambridge.
Correct. In the Second World War, young men nicknamed Bevin boys were conscripted into which industry?
Mining.
Correct. Which Pacific island was colonized in 1790 by mutineers from the Bounty?
Pitcairn.
Correct. In the title of an historical poem, what Latin name did Dryden give to the year 1666?
Pass.
In the Old Testament, who fled from Saul and took refuge in the cave of Adullam, where he became leader of a band of fugitives?
David.
Correct. Oneirology is a study and interpretation of what?
Dreams.
Correct. Who composed the march Crown Imperial for the coronation of King George VI?
Walton.
Correct. Name one of the two honorary treasurers of the Conservative Party.
McAlpine.
No, Laing or Beaverbrook. Theoretically, a vacuum is a space in which there is no matter, which Latin word describes the opposite as a space completely filled with matter.
Plenum.
Correct. Which mansion on the site of an abbey near Worksop in Nottinghamshire has underground rooms and tunnels built by the 5th Duke of Portland?
Worksop.
No, Welbeck. In 1524, which explorer was nominated Portuguese viceroy in India?
Vasco da Gama.
Correct. In the title of a play usually credited to Shakespeare, who is Prince of Tyre?
Pericles.
Correct. Which grandson of Louis XIV of France became the first Bourbon king of Spain, thus provoking the War of the Spanish Succession?
Philip.
Which?
Fifth.
Correct. In the modern orchestra, there are two families of woodwind instruments with double reeds. One is the oboe family, which is the other?
Bassoon.
Correct. In which city is the permanent berth of Nelson's flagship HMS Victory?
Portsmouth.
Correct. In architecture, what is the term for the decoration on the top of a spire or pinnacle?
Pass.
Which type of shell is the emblem of St. James of Compostela and of medieval pilgrims in general?
Scallop.
Correct. Which author born in Dublin founded the Tatler in 1709 and created the character Sir Roger de Coverley?
Addison.
No, the other one, Steele. In England, which great officer of state presides over the College of Arms and arranges state ceremonials?
The Earl Marshal.
Correct. In classical mythology, which creatures usually feature on the staff carried by Hermes, the messenger god?
Snakes.
Snakes is right. At the end of that round, Dr. Francis, your score has gone up to 31 points. You passed on to the title of an historical poem with a Latin name that Dryden gave to the year 1666 was Annus Mirabilis, and in architecture, the term for the decoration on the top of a spire or pinnacle is finial. Dr. Francis, thank you very much. And finally, Stephen Allen, please. He is an actor. His stage name is Stephen Tomlin. Comes from Tavistock, lives in Lancaster. In the lead with 18 points after the first round, with his subject Dartmoor and its environs. The target you have to aim at now is 31. And your general knowledge questions are starting now. In Ireland, what name is given to illicit whiskey, which is made in private stills?
Pachin.
Correct. Who is the principal patron saint of Venice?
St. Mark.
Correct. Kaolin is a form of clay known by what other name?
China clay.
Correct. The Klondike, scene of the gold rush in the late 1890s, is now in which Canadian territory?
Yukon.
Correct. In the early 19th century, which English political journalist campaigned for social and economic reform in his weekly political register?
Cobbett.
Correct. Which American composer who died last December wrote El Salon, Mexico and A Lincoln Portrait?
Aaron Copland.
Correct. The leaves of which perennial herbaceous plant of the Mediterranean region inspired the decoration on the capitals of Corinthian columns?
Vine.
No, acanthus. In the Old Testament, who was the wife of King Ahab, whose name is now used to describe a shameless woman?
Jezebel.
Correct. What name is given to teeth which project from the rim of a wheel for engaging the links of a chain?
Pass.
Who wrote the sonnet which begins, "Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments"?
Shakespeare.
Correct. In Roman mythology, what was the name of the corn goddess who was identified with the Greek goddess Demeter?
Ceres.
Correct. Lake Lauricoca, sometimes considered to be the source of the Amazon, is in which South American country?
Peru.
Correct. Which Australian bushranger, particularly remembered for his homemade armour, was hanged in Melbourne in November 1880?
Ned Kelly.
Correct. What does the adjective pluvial mean?
Raining.
Correct. Which city in Lombardy, where Umberto I of Italy was assassinated in 1900, has a celebrated motor racing track?
Lombardy.
No,
Milan.
Monza. What name is usually given to a floating bridge supported by a series of boats or other floating vessels?
Pontoon.
Correct. Of which recently unified country on the Arabian Peninsula is Sana'a the political capital and Aden the economic capital?
Yemen.
Correct. In the pantomime Aladdin, what name is traditionally given to the dame, Aladdin's mother?
Pass.
In March 1965, during the flight of Voskhod II, cosmonaut Alexei Leonov became the first person to do what?
Walk in space.
Correct. What is the name of the southernmost point? I've started, so I'll finish. What is the name of the southernmost point of mainland Britain?
The Lizard.
Lizard Point is right. At the end of that round, Stephen Allen, your score has gone up to 34 points. You passed on 2. The name that's given to teeth which project from the rim of a wheel for engaging links of a chain is sprockets. And the dame in Aladdin is Widow Twankey. Stephen Allen or Stephen Tomlin, thank you very much. And these two blistering second rounds bring this first semi-final of Mastermind to an end. Let us glance at the scores. And in fourth place on 25 points is Stephanie Brooke. In third place on 26 points is Ian Sadler. In second place on 31 points is Richard Francis. But the winner this week with 34 points is the actor from Lancaster, Stephen Allen or Stephen Tomlin. Well, our congratulations to Stephen Allen, who becomes our first finalist. Our thanks and commiserations to the other semi-finalists. I hope you've enjoyed taking part as much as we have enjoyed having you. Well, that is all for this week. Next time, we will be having 4 more semi-finalists looking for their chance to win the second place in the final of Mastermind 1991. So until next time, from here in the McEwan Hall of the University of Edinburgh, it's goodbye.